Hi guys, my name is Yajat Goswami and I am a student of Ivy Pro School. As the IPL season is on, I'm sure you might have heard of Dream 11. So today we will make an attempt to peek into the past 2 years data of IPL to check which team can fetch us the maximum points. We will be taking analytical approach to see what our data says. So to begin with it, the first step is to ask questions. The questions for which we want the answers from our data. As you can see on the screen, there are two questions written. So the first question says, what should be the composition of our team? Should we have more batsmen, more bowlers, or more all-rounders? Alright. And the second question says, what strategies should we use to select the captain and vice captain? So these are the two questions for which I want my data to answer these two questions. Alright. And obviously our target is that our score should be maximum. The composition or the selection of the captain and vice captain should be such that the scores are maximum. That's our aim. Alright, so these are the two questions. The second step is the hypothesis. Based on the questions which we have created, we create certain assumptions. The assumptions can be any number. Like I have taken 5 over here, but you can take as many as you want. So we have created the assumptions or the hypothesis over here. 5 hypotheses are there. The first one says, let's assume that our team contains all batsmen. Alright, this is the first hypothesis which I have taken. The second one is that let's say that our team contains all the bowlers, like all the 11 team players are bowlers. The third hypothesis says that let's say there are more batsmen than bowlers and the number of bowlers and all-rounders are equal. So the composition is 5-3-3. In the fourth one, further we have increased the number of batsmen and then it becomes 7-2-2. And in the fifth one, we have completely removed the bowlers and we have just kept batsmen and all-rounders. The composition becomes 8-3. 8 batsmen and 3 all-rounders. Now the third step is, taking into consideration all these 5 hypotheses, we will be seeing what our data says about these assumptions which we have taken. To begin, let's see the rules on the basis of which we will be calculating the points of each team we select or the points of each players. So let's first see the rules. So the batting points are such that for each run the player will be getting 1 point, boundary bonus is 1 again, 6 bonus is 2, half century bonus is 8 and century bonus is 16. Similarly for bowling we have wicket bonus is 25, 4 wicket haul bonus is +8, maiden over is +8. And as I was mentioning that it was a question in our first step that we have to find the strategy to select captain and vice captain. As the score we can see, for captain it becomes 2x and for the vice captain it becomes 1.5x. So suppose 11 players are there in my team and one of the players has scored 1000 and I take him as a captain, then the points of that player becomes 2000. So whosoever the captain is, his points will become 2x. And similarly for vice captain it becomes 1.5x. Now here are the strike rate points. So there is a penalty for the batsmen who have whose strike rate is 60 to 70. Right? So suppose they have scored 60 to 70 runs per 100 balls. That's a strike rate. So there is a penalty of 2 points, like -2 will be done on the total score, -4, -6, and the criteria is this. Similarly, there are economy rate points for the bowlers. So if the bowlers have a highly phenomenal economy rate, that is of below 4 runs per over, then they should be rewarded, and they are rewarded by 6 points. So if it's between 4 to 4.9 and then plus 4, similarly from 5 to 6 it's 2, and if the economy rate is very high, much higher than what is expected out of the good bowlers, then there is a penalty of the points as well. So these are the total points which we will be keeping into consideration while we calculate the total points of each players. So for this analysis, we have taken 2 years data of 2019 and 2018. These rules are taken from the Dream 11 website. The link of this website is given in the description, and the data of and this table is being taken from howstat.com. Again, the link is given in the description. You can check that. Let's begin with the analysis. So this was the data which was given to us, right? All the top 50 players, top 50 batsmen of 2019. Now we have created points based on the rules which we just saw. So cell F2, it's the runs. So we have multiplied it by 1 because there was single point on the runs. H2 says hundreds, that is century. So we have multiplied that number with 16. I2, cell I2 says 50s, that is half century, and we have multiplied it by 8. Similarly for L2, we have boundaries multiplied by 1 and 6 bonus. Number of 6s, we have 21, then 21 multiplied by 2. That was the bonus for 6s. So this is how we got the points for the batsman. Now this formula I have simply copy pasted in the entire row, and like this we got the scores of all the batsmen. Now this data was not given in this manner from the website. So after creating this points column, this additional column, I have sorted the data based on these values in descending order so that the player with maximum points comes at the top. Alright, this is arranged in the descending order. Then the strike rate condition which was given in the rules, for that I have created one more criteria to just check if the strike rate is far below the expected level, then there should be a penalty, that is the points, certain amount of points should be deducted from the final points of that player. So this is the formula for that. Then if it's not there, then it should not add anything or subtract anything. Then we can have the final score of the batsman. Alright, this is how the final score is being created for the batsman of 2019. Now we'll quickly look at the 2019 bowlers. Again, this data has been imported from the website howstat.com, and the points are being calculated as it was mentioned in the rules. Cell G2 into 25, G2 says wickets, so number of wickets into 25 plus L2 into 8. What is L2? It's the 4 wicket haul bonus. Then again that number is multiplied by 8, and E2 says the maidens, so that number again multiplied by 8. So this is the formula for calculating the points. Then again for this whole column I have copy pasted the formula, arranged the rows again in the descending order. Economy score criteria, as we saw, if the economy score is very good, then they should have the bonus. If it's not good, then the penalty should be there. So this is the formula to calculate that, and the final score comes by taking into consideration the economy criteria as well. So this is how we created the final score. Now let's come to 2019 all-rounders. So there was data given on the website as well, but that was only a few players. So there was a certain criteria based on which they have shown the all-rounders. In addition to that, what I did, I've created one more column for all-rounders. Can you see this? I have put a formula of VLOOKUP over here. What it does is, it looks for the player. Suppose in the first row the player is Warner. So this formula will look for Warner in the bowlers list as well, in this list. So what I'm doing is, I am looking for these players in the bowlers list of 2019. If it is there, it will display the name of that player, like Russell, Pandya, Rana, Ali, Stokes, Mohammad Nabi, Jadeja. These are the players which are there in the bowlers list as well. So these are the all-rounders. Alright, this whole column is for the all-rounders. This is how, so these are over here, these are the all-rounders for 2019. I've simply pasted their data from the batting sheet, and these are the scores of them. Similarly for these players, these all-rounders, I have pasted the data from bowling sheet as well, and these are the scores. So the final score of these all-rounders becomes the addition of batting score and the bowling score, as you can see here. Bowling score and the batting score. Like this, I have summed up the scores of these all-rounders. Alright. This was the whole calculation for 2019. The same calculations are being performed on 2018 batsman list. Same way I've calculated the points over here. Check the strike rate. If it's low, total points, and again a new column for all-rounders, which will be checking if the player is being present in the 2018 bowlers list as well or not. If it is, then it will show. Alright. Similarly for bowlers, the points have been calculated keeping in mind the rules which we discussed in starting, economy score and the total score. So this is the final score of 2018 bowlers. Similarly for 2018 all-rounders, the same concept has been used of VLOOKUPs as well as looking for the data on the website as well if we find any. So these are the list of, this is the list of all-rounders for 2018. Their points for bowling, and the summation of batting and bowling will give me the total score for those all-rounders for 2018. So this is the calculation part which we have done. First, using the rules, we have calculated the points, arranged the data in descending order so that the players with the maximum score should appear in the top, so that it is easy for me to select those players which will fetch me maximum points while I am doing my hypothesis test. Alright, so now let's begin with the hypothesis test. As you remember, in the hypothesis 1 we said that let's assume that we have all the batsmen. So what I have done over here is, from 2019 batsman sheet, 2019 batsman data, I have selected all the top 11 batsmen which I had in that sheet. This is the list, and this is the scores. Now I have selected the player having the maximum score over here as captain, because the score of that player will become 2x. So I want that to be maximum, right? That is why I have selected the player with the maximum score as captain, and the player with the second highest score as vice captain. So the score becomes 1.5 times. Now to calculate the score of team, I have simply added up all these points. So this becomes the score of my team for first hypothesis. For 2019, this is the score of the team containing all the batsmen. Similarly, for 2018, I have done the same thing. This is the list of all the top 11 batsmen for 2018. This is the score, captain score, vice captain score, and final score, by simply adding up the scores of all the individual players. So these two scores we will be keeping in the final table, alright, for the final analysis. This is first hypothesis. Second one was of all the bowlers. So this is the list of top 11 bowlers from 2019 bowlers data. Similarly, these are the points. Again, the same logic. We will be choosing the player with highest score as captain and the player with second highest score as vice captain. The same calculation is being applied over here. Finally, we have calculated the sum of these players. Again, for 2018, the same calculations for 2018 data of bowlers, top 11 bowlers of 2018, captain, vice captain calculations, finally summing up the points of all the players. Now let's come to hypothesis 3. It said that the batsmen should be greater than bowlers and the number of all-rounders and bowlers are same. The composition is 5, 3 and 3. So top 5 batsmen from 2019, top 3 bowlers from 2019 and top 3 all-rounders from 2019 have been selected in this particular top 11 players. Then this data has been sorted in descending order so that Russell comes in the top 1 position and Warner comes at the second position. So these are my captain and vice captain. We did the necessary calculations over here, and finally we have summed up the scores of each player as the final score for the total whole team. Same calculation applied on 2018 as well. 5 batsmen, 3 bowlers, 3 all-rounders. All the players who were scoring maximum in their respective fields. Alright, you can see the speciality of these players, individual players mentioned over here. The same calculation of captain and vice captain. And finally, summing up the scores. Again, these two scores of 2019 and 2018 for hypothesis 3 is being added in the final table, which we will be seeing at the last. How do we analyze? Now hypothesis 4. Now what we did over here is, earlier batsmen were 5, now we have taken 7 batsmen and 1 all-rounder we have decreased and 1 bowler we have decreased. So the composition becomes 7, 2 and 2. Again, top 7 batsmen from 2019, top 2 bowlers from 2019 and top 2 all-rounders from 2019. The data being sorted again in descending order, captain, vice captain calculations, summing up, same data, same calculation again for 2018 as well. And here goes the score. Now these two scores are again added in the final table. The final hypothesis, fifth one, where it does not contain any bowler, all the top 8 batsmen and top 3 all-rounders are there. Alright, then the same calculations is being performed. The players are selected from the original tables, and similarly for 2018, the players are selected from 2018 table. Calculation of hypothesis 5, summing up the data for 2019 and 2018. So now we have done all the calculations on the basis of hypothesis which we created. Now we will analyze the final points which we have created based on each hypothesis which we considered in the beginning. Let's quickly look at the table which we have. So these are the hypothesis, the description of the hypothesis, 2019 scores of each hypothesis, 2018 score, the average of 2018 and 2019 score, score difference, that is the absolute difference between 2018 and 2019 score. So to begin with, we always first start rejecting the easy ones. How we will go about it, let's see. So step 1 should be to check for the easy rejections. As we can see in hypothesis 1, even though the average score is 8742, but as we see the score difference, which is 1106, that's pretty high. It signifies that this hypothesis is not at all reliable. It has a very huge fluctuation. Even though in 2018, if we see, the score is 9295, but in 2019 it is 8189. The difference comes out to be 1106. That's pretty high. It's the maximum among the column. of score difference. So we'll completely reject this because this hypothesis can jump anywhere, right? It won't give us any reliable thing. We can't rely on this hypothesis that we will be getting the score, decent score. We'll reject it. Hypothesis 2 is again a very easy rejection because the average score is the minimum among the column of scores. 6305 is the minimum. That's why we'll reject hypothesis 2. Now if we see hypothesis 3, we considered 5 batsmen, 3 bowlers and 3 all-rounders. So we saw that when we considered all batsmen, the score was pretty high as compared to the hypothesis when we considered all bowlers in our team, right? All batsmen consisted of all the top scoring batsmen, top 11 batsmen with the highest scores, right? And the same with the bowlers. But see the difference in the points, it's pretty high. It's in 9,000s in 2018 and it's in 6,000 in 2018 for the data of hypothesis 1 and 2. That is why we reduced the number of bowlers and we kept batsmen more than bowlers. So see, we saw a jump from average of 8742 to 9189. That's a jump of 447 points. So again, we followed the same thing in hypothesis 4. We again increased the number of batsmen from 5 to 7. And 1 bowler we decreased and 1 all-rounder we decreased. So that makes the composition at 7, 2 and 2. 7 batsmen, 2 bowlers and 2 all-rounders. Which further increased my average points from 9189.25 to 9762.75. Following this strategy again, I further increased my batsmen and completely neglected the bowlers this time in hypothesis 5. So I took 8 batsmen and 3 all-rounders. But this time the score didn't increase, it got decreased from 9762 to 9403. And this is how I came up with my maximum score, the average maximum score as 9762.75. Alright. But as we see, the score difference is minimum for hypothesis 3, that is 107.5, which amounts to be the least risky hypothesis which I have, and hence the most reliable hypothesis which I have. I can rely more on this hypothesis that it will be giving me a similar kind of output, similar kind of points when I apply this hypothesis. Whereas there is a significant difference of around 180 points in the score difference between 289.5 and 107.5. Whereas if we talk about the average score, there is a substantial amount of around 570 points in hypothesis 4 and 3. So over here a slight confusion can be there, which one to choose, because one has good amount of average score but the other has the least amount of risk factor involved. This is the time when we may want to include more data into our table to analyze. What we can do is, from the website from where we collected the data for 2018 and 2019, we can collect more data for 2017, 2016 and even 2015. Like this we can create a 5-year table and then do the same analysis over there. Create the average and the score difference. Over there the score difference will take we can calculate the standard deviation, which will show me the variation in the data. This is how we can analyze the data, like how the values are getting fluctuated over the years. Least amount of fluctuation will be the most reliable one, and average we can simply calculate of the 5 years. So that will be an approach to make this analysis more strong and to help making the decisions better. The links of the websites which I have used I'll be sharing in the description, as I said before. Also, if you want, you may include the points of wicket keeping, if the player is a wicket keeper or not, stumping, number of ducks for each player, number of catches which they have taken. So for now, for this analysis, I have not considered them because it was not available as easily on the website. For that, you have to go for each player's analysis. So that is why uh, it is better if we select few hypotheses. Like if we would have considered that in the beginning, then for all the batsmen and all the bowlers also we would want to consider that, right? And it would take a huge amount of time. Now it will take a lesser amount of time because hypothesis 3 and 4 are the two main hypotheses which we want to consider for. Now we can quickly look in the team members of hypothesis 3 and 4, who all are the team members, and then for those members we can check the number of ducks, if they are a wicket keeper or not, and number of catches they have taken, and many more criteria which you can easily find on the Dream 11 website in the points rules section. Over there you can see that, and on howstat.com you can get the whole analysis of each player wise analysis, and you can check the data from there as well. So you can, as I said, you can add the more number of years for getting a better insight, and obviously you can add more number of criterias like catches and stumpings to make the score more reliable. So this was an overview, or these were the steps which we typically take to solve any problem analytically. So the steps includes: first, ask the questions to the data. Ask the questions for which you want the answers. Like we asked, what should be the composition and what should be the strategy to select captain and vice captain. Second step would be to create certain hypotheses based on the questions. Like what assumptions would you like to start with? Then each hypothesis has to be tested with the data, like what my data says about the assumption or the hypothesis which I have considered. Like this you begin, and then at the final stage, first start rejecting the easy choices like we did for hypothesis 1, 2 and 5, and then deeply look into the hypothesis which you have considered. This is the step-by-step procedure to analytically solve a problem. In this case, we have taken for the team selection to score the maximum points. I hope you enjoyed this session, guys. Thank you so much for watching this, and stay tuned for more exciting content.